All right, it's my name is Jimmy Lee, and I'm going over the binder checklist that is due on May 11th for Political Science 150. So here you can see my binder checklist and what I've had highlighted for what I'm going to be showing today. So for me, I don't have access to a printer, so I can't print out the syllabus and put it into my binder, but here I have it in PDF form. So if and when I get a printer, if it's required, I could submit this into my binder. Next, I'm going to be showing the California politics essay that was take home. Here you can see that this was the essay that I submitted through Canvas. To conclude section 1, the study material that I used to prepare for the midterm and the final was the study guide that was provided. And also, I made a huge stack of note cards so I could prepare myself for midterm number 1. And here you can see that there's confirmation bias, what is science, the major shifts in political parties, Southern strategy, institutional fragmentation, blah, blah, blah. And that concludes section 1. For section 2, which consists of the lecture notes and the global lyceum notes, I have it here in my binder. You can see that I have global lyceum notes. And what kept lecture pretty interesting is that Professor Selby threw in a lot of, dry humor or dad humor, which is what I found was pretty interesting, and you somehow tied it to political science. The Ash conformity experiment, I really liked watching that video and seeing how people conform, and even if there's one person that was on your side, it was easier to resist the effects of conforming to the majority. And then here's week 2 lecture. And some more readings and global lyceum. I took a lot of notes on global lyceum before class, so I had a better understanding of what was going to be covered during class. And I'm continuing with lecture. Week 3, week 4, part 2, which is supposed to be Thursday. Here, I think we were in a process of changing from, hold on, this says, I think class was canceled that day. Okay, here is the funnel of causality before midterm number 1. Some study guide material. Let's see. And you can see it's all dated here. Some more global lyceum notes, because this was me preparing for midterm number 2. I procrastinated a little bit, and then I got to it the week before we actually took midterm number 2. And as we reach the end, you can see that concludes global lyceum notes and your lecture notes. There were some times where I withheld taking lecture notes because I felt that it was already covered during the global lyceum readings. All right, so for the next section, well, that concludes section 2, and the next section that I want to talk about is section 3. When everything shifted around, I lost a couple of readings, but I do have some from the earlier in semester. Like I have Selby, Why Politics. I have the Rational Wiki on confirmation bias, and your brain is primed to reach false conclusions, and the political polarization in the American public. The supplemental reading on how fewer states determine the outcome, and some notes on Tocqueville and the tyranny of the majority, which I think align pretty well with the Ash's conformity experiment. And that concludes my binder. I feel like if I had a printer, that would make it a little more complete, so I could print out the checklist and the syllabus and my essay. But I have what I have. Thank you.